Good morning, Panthers. I'm Miss Caldwell, your new principal. I'm looking forward to a great school year. Over the course of the last few weeks, I've had an opportunity to meet many of you, but as I'm in the hallways and you're in the hallways, I'm excited to get to know everyone as the year moves on. I want to start with one important thing that is new to the school this year, and that is that we will have automatic door locks. So the doors will be locked and you will not be able to access any of the outside doors unless you are buzzed in. Teachers have a fob that will allow them to come in and out of those doors. So do not open doors for anyone who is on the outside knocking to come in. Everyone must come around to the front of the building and be buzzed into the front office. This is a safety issue. Sometimes you may think you recognize someone and you let someone in the building, and without knowing it, you let in somebody who may be meaning to do harm to the students. So make sure that you do not open these doors for anyone around and on the outside doors of the building. They have to come to the front and be buzzed into the office. I also want to remind you that we are still in the middle of a global pandemic and cases are again on the rise. Now, masks are not mandatory, but I do strongly recommend that you wear masks in cases where you can't socially distance. I also want to remind you to wash your hands, use the hand sanitizer stations that are around the building, and if you want water, use the water filling station or buy bottled water from the canteen. I don't want anybody sharing bottles of water. I know that you all try to do the waterfall where your mouth does not touch the bottle. Do not do any of those things. We don't want you to do anything that's going to put you or your friends at risk of spreading this virus. Now, I want to make sure that we have a successful school year, so today I'm going to lay out a few of the expectations that I have for you. First, I always say school is your job. And by saying that school is your job, that means that you are here every day on time and prepared to give your very best. I know some of you may have after-school jobs where you go out and work, but your primary job is that of student. School is your job, and here is where you have to put in the work. That being said, I expect that you, as an individual and as a student in this school, will protect the rights of every student, yours and your peers' right to learn, and your teacher's right to teach. In addition to that, every teacher in this building, Mr. Morgan, Ms. Townsend, and myself, we will protect your right to learn. But Mr. Morgan, Ms. Townsend, and I will also be protecting a teacher's right to teach. This is our goal. We're going to create for you a safe and orderly school environment, but we expect you to do your part. You're to protect your right to learn and your peers' right to learn, as well as your teacher's right to teach. I also want you to begin with the end in mind as you start this school year. When I say that, I mean I want you to think about what it is that you want to accomplish here at McBee High School this school year. In addition to that, think about how you're going to get there. What do I have to do to get to where I want to go this school year? When May comes, I want to look back and see what I've accomplished. That's what begin with the end in mind means. And in order to do that, you have to be here. You have to be in school every day. You have to be on time to class. And your behavior has to be such that we don't have to send you home for some days or for the year. Your teachers are going to go over some rules and expectations with you this morning in homeroom. Some of them are new, some of them are not. The tardy policy is new, and the cell phone policy is new. Now, the tardy policy is because if you're not in class, you can't learn. If you're late to class, you disrupt the whole class as you come in late. Teachers have to stop. They have to get you up to speed on where they are. Your student, your classmates, stop because they're looking to see you come in late. So you have to be in class on time. We will be following that tardy policy. And yes, we will be implementing an after-school detention. And as of right now, guess what? I'm the person who will be holding that after-school detention. And you probably don't want to have to spend 30 minutes or an hour with me in the afternoons. So let's do what we're supposed to do, get to school on time. Also, we also will have a new cell phone policy. Teachers will go over that with you. Cell phones can be on in the mornings when you first get to school, but when the bell rings to go to class, cell phones should be off and put away. We're going to enforce this policy because a lot of times it is cell phones and texting and going on social media that create a lot of unnecessary problems in school. And there are problems that we're not going to have this year. You have a one-to-one device, so you won't necessarily have to have a cell phone on during the day. So they're off when the first bell rings to go to class, and you don't turn them back on until the end of the day when you are leaving the building. If you need to call parents, if parents need to call you, then we have a phone in the front office and parents can reach you that way. So we want to make sure that you let your parents know that there is a new policy in place regarding cell phones. Also on that handout, you're going to see the dress code for the school. Now this is not a new policy. It's been printed off of the school website. But we will be enforcing that dress code policy. I want you to make sure you look at it, put it in your binder, commit it to memory, because we will be following the dress code. That means hats, hoods in the hallways. You will not have hats on your head in the building. You will not have hoods on your head in the building. So I want you to make sure that you understand that. Hats, hoodies, hoods on your head, that is not permitted. So you don't want to end up getting in trouble about something like not following the dress code. There are certain things in our discipline handbook that I'm going to talk about now that I want you to understand. These things can escalate your discipline very quickly. These are the things that you want to avoid at all costs. There are things that happen during the school day. There are things that happen with you as kids that I understand because you're children. Our job is to help you to manage behavior and to facilitate when you don't understand how to manage your behavior. That's our job. That's what we're here for. But there are certain things that you need to know can escalate discipline for you and get you out of school very quickly. That means you won't be able to be here to do your best and to give your best and to accomplish the goals that you set for yourself. We have a Category 3 in our handbook. Those Category 3 offenses start you off with 3 days out of school automatically. One of those is vaping. Vaping is a big thing, a big deal with young people now. Vaping or being caught in possession of a vape will get you 3 days out of school suspension to start. If you possess a vape, you want to leave it at home. Don't bring it to school. If you have it and you leave it in you bring it to school, then you want to make sure that you do not use it. Or you may want to tell a teacher, I forgot to take this out of my book bag. I forgot to leave it at home, and I'm going to give it to you so I don't get in trouble. And I'm not saying you'll get it back, because you probably won't, because you're not allowed to have them at school. Let's make sure that we start off right with that. But that is immediately a Category 3 offense on the first write-up. Second write-up is 5 days out of school suspension. So that's one of those things that will shoot up your discipline very quickly, and you don't want to do that. Another one of those things is threatening and harassing behavior. There's a tendency among young people to say things, or to consistently say things, or to target students because of some way that they're different, or some way that they may not fit into your idea. That is threatening and harassing behavior. That's the harassing part of that category. That will start you out at a 3-day suspension. If we have students who come to us, or parents who call us and say, my child is being bullied, my child is being harassed, we will investigate it. And if we find out that you did in fact threaten or harass another student, you will be suspended 3 days to start. In that same category, threatening could be threatening to fight. That means if you get in somebody's face, you're threatening to fight. If you strip down, take off your book bag, throw off your jacket, you're threatening to fight. 3 days home. So you want to understand that we will follow this discipline handbook. And if we see these things, if we find these things out, you will be suspended. Fighting is a Category 3 offense, but fighting starts automatically with 5 days out of school suspension. Along with that 5-day out of school suspension, you will be brought back in for a pre-expulsion conference with me, Mr. Morgan, or Ms. Townsend. That means you will go on contract for the remainder of the year. And if you violate the conditions of that contract, then you will be suspended pending an expulsion hearing. None of these things will allow you to do your very best this year. None of these things will allow you to accomplish your goals. So we do not want to push discipline to where you are facing being expelled from school or being put out of school for the rest of the year. I want to make sure you understand that. I am emphasizing that to you because we will follow the discipline handbook. Your homeroom teachers are going to give you a copy of the discipline handbook today. You need to get to know it. You need to learn it. You need to keep it with you. Because when you come to me and you say, I didn't know that that was in the handbook, my question to you is going to be, did you get a handbook? And because I know that we've given homeroom teachers handbooks to give you, then my answer is going to be, yes, you did get a handbook. And if you didn't get a handbook, you're watching this video, so I know you heard it. All right? We want to make sure that we have a good school where everybody feels safe and everybody feels like they are protected. Because that is my goal, is to protect every single child and adult in this building. Category 4 offenses in that handbook. I'm stressing these two categories because these are the serious categories that can derail your high school experience. Category 4 offenses are things that violate state law. So not only will you be expelled, but you will also be placed under arrest. I don't want to see a single child at McBee High School be carried out of this building in handcuffs. It's not our desire, it's not our goal. So I want you to commit that category 4 to memory and make sure you don't do any of those things. Some of those things are possession of controlled substances. And you all know what controlled substances are. Marijuana, for you, that's alcohol because it is illegal for you to drink. Possession of controlled substances is against the law. So you will be arrested and expelled for possession of controlled substances. If you come in here under the influence of a controlled substance, then you will be sent to an expulsion hearing. So you want to make sure that you don't do that. Threatening school personnel will get you arrested and expelled. You want to make sure you don't do that. I don't care how upset you get with a teacher. You don't make threats towards an adult in this building. If you do, you will be arrested. If you make a threat of physical harm to a student in this school, you will be expelled. Those are things that are serious, and you want to mind what you say and watch your words. Because sometimes you may just be mad and saying it in the moment, but we have to take it serious as a threat. Make sure you watch your words. Make sure you mind what you say. And make sure that you treat every person in this building the way that you want to be treated. That's very important. Also, if you call in and make prank calls about bomb threats, or if you pull the fire alarm, those are category 4 offenses. Those violate state law. Bomb threats actually violate federal law. You will be placed under arrest and you will be expelled. Those are things that you do not want to do. I've told you a lot of stuff, a lot of serious stuff. But my goal is that we have a wonderful school year. My goal is that you all come in here every day with the mindset that school is your job. And as I said, that means you show up every day on time, prepared and ready to do your very best. And you respect and protect your right to learn and your teacher's right to teach. Let's have a wonderful year. Again, I'm excited to be here. You will see me in the halls all the times. Sometimes you'll see me in your classrooms because I want to see what you're learning. I want to be a part of what you're learning because that is what makes this job so exciting for me. It is actually to go in and to watch young people learn and to see you grow. And at the end of the school year to look at you and say, I'm so impressed with how you matured. I'm so impressed with what you've done this year. Let's have a great school year. Your teachers are going to go over some things with you, and then we're going to go on with our day. And I'll see you all in the halls. Thank you.